If you've ever tried to enforce device compliance through conditional access, you've probably hit the same wall everyone else does. New devices can't be compliant until they're enrolled. But your CA policy blocks enrollment because the device isn't compliant. It's the classic chicken and egg problem, except it isn't. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why. Here's what a typical zero-trust setup looks like. We've got conditional access policies blocking legacy authentication, requiring MFA for all users, requiring MFA for admins, and here's the important one. CA08, require MDM devices compliant. This policy says, if you want to access company resources, your device needs to be enrolled in Intune and marked as compliant. No exceptions. The problem most people run into is this. When you get a brand new laptop, fresh out of the box, it isn't enrolled in Intune yet. It isn't compliant yet, so when the user tries to sign in during the out-of-box experience, this CA policy blocks them. They can't enroll because they're not compliant, and they can't become compliant because they can't enroll. The standard advice you'll find on every forum is to exclude Microsoft Intune enrollment from your CA policy, but that creates a security gap, and you don't need to do it. The solution is Windows Autopilot hardware hash pre-registration. Every Windows device has a unique hardware fingerprint, a hash derived from its motherboard, TPM, BIOS, and network adapters. When you capture this hash and upload it to Intune before the device is deployed, you're telling your tenant, this device is ours. Trust it. There are 3 ways to capture it. The first is PowerShell. On a new device at the out-of-box experience screen, press Shift F10 to open a command prompt. Then run these commands. This generates a CSV file with the device's serial number and hardware hash. The second method is to upload it directly to Intune using the -online flag. And the third, which is the best for larger deployments, is to have your hardware vendor, Dell, HP, Lenovo, capture the hash at the factory and upload it to your tenant automatically. Once you've got your CSV file, head to the Intune Admin Center. Go to Devices, Enroll Devices, then Windows Autopilot, then Devices. Here you can see any devices that have already been registered. To add a new one, click Import and select your CSV file. The import takes about 5 to 15 minutes. Once it's done, you'll see the device listed here with its serial number and an attested status. That means the hardware hash has been verified. You can also add group tags during import to categorize your devices. For example, London office, remote worker, or kiosk. These tags feed into dynamic Entra ID groups, which lets you automatically assign different deployment profiles to different types of devices. Next, you need a deployment profile. This controls what the user sees during the out-of-box experience. Go to Deployment Profiles and create a new one. Set the deployment mode to User-Driven. Join to Entra ID as Microsoft Entra Joined. Hide the EULA, hide the privacy settings, and set the account type to Standard. You don't want end users having local admin rights. For the assignment, you can target a dynamic device group. This means any device registered through Autopilot will automatically get this deployment profile. No manual assignment needed. Now let's set up the compliance policy. This defines what makes a device healthy in your environment. Go to Devices, Compliance, then Policies. Create a new policy for Windows 10 and later. These are the settings I'd recommend as a baseline. Require BitLocker, require secure boot, require code integrity, require firewall, and require antivirus. If you're using Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, you can also require a minimum risk score. One important setting, the compliance status validity period. I'd recommend setting this to 24 hours for new devices. This gives them time to apply all policies after enrollment. Without this grace period, a device that's still encrypting its drive with BitLocker would be marked non-compliant and blocked. Now for the main event. The Conditional Access policy. Go to the Entra Admin Center, Protection Conditional Access, then Policies. Create a new policy. I'm calling this Require Compliant Device, All Cloud Apps. Under Users, select All Users, but make sure you exclude your break glass accounts. Always have at least 2 emergency access accounts excluded from every CA policy. If something goes wrong, these are your lifeline. Under Target Resources, select All Resources. This is important. Do not select individual apps. When you target all resources, Microsoft handles the internal exclusions for the enrollment process automatically. This is what eliminates the need to manually exclude Microsoft Intune enrollment. Under Grant, select Grant Access, then check Require Device to be marked as compliant and require multi-factor authentication. Set it to require all selected controls. If you want even more control, you can use device filters under Conditions. For example, you can use device.device ownership equals company to only apply this policy to corporate-owned devices. Since Autopilot devices are automatically registered as corporate-owned, they'll match this filter from the moment they enroll. Before you enable this, and I cannot stress this enough, set it to report only first, run it for at least a week. Check the sign-in logs, see what would be blocked. Only when you're confident it won't lock anyone out, switch it to on. So what does the end user actually see? They power on the laptop, connect to Wi-Fi. Autopilot recognizes the hardware hash and customizes the out-of-box experience with your company branding. The user signs in with their work email and password. They complete MFA. The enrollment status page shows them the setup progress as the device joins Entra ID, enrolls in Intune, and applies your compliance policies. 15 to 25 minutes later, they're at the desktop. The device is enrolled, compliant, and passes every conditional access check. No IT support needed. No special access. They just need their credentials and an internet connection. And here's the key point. At no stage did we exclude any apps from the CA policy. No workarounds, no security gaps. The hardware hash pre-registration meant the device was known and trusted from the very first sign-in. One more thing, if you're using named locations in your CA policies, which you should be, you can add your office IP addresses as trusted locations. This lets you create policies that behave differently based on whether the user is on the corporate network or not. For example, you might require MFA from untrusted locations, but skip it when they're in the office. Let's recap. Capture the hardware hash. Import it to Autopilot. Assign a deployment profile. Set compliance policies. Create your CA policy targeting all resources with no app exclusions. Deploy, and the device handles the rest. The chicken and egg problem was never really a chicken and egg problem. It was a registration problem. And Autopilot solved it. If you found this useful, drop a like and subscribe. And if you need help implementing Zero Trust in your organization, check out bluefix.co.uk. Thanks for watching.